this video I'm going to be going through the calendars feature in inTakt. To demonstrate that, I've created two simple phases here. They're both identical, so you can see I have the weekends displayed and the holidays. If I jump into task settings, in earlier versions of inTakt, each phase, so here I'm on phase 1, each phase had its own work week and holidays. You can quickly swap between calendars here. You can create a new calendar directly from here, or I can edit a calendar. So I'm just going to edit the default calendar, which is applied to both of my phases. You can see that a calendar is made up of the name, and then instead of the work week and the days off being on the phase, it's now on the calendar. So I'm just going to add a new day off to this calendar. I'm going to call it May the 4th, and you'll never guess what day that's going to be. I'm going to add that, here it is, and then I'm going to save calendar. So I'm in phase 1, that's got the default calendar, and then phase 2 also has the default calendar. When I jump back into the schedule here, and I go along to May 4th, you'll see that both phases have been updated because they're both sharing the calendar. So calendars is just lets you kind of speed up that bulk editing process a bit easier. And then of course calendars can be applied to different phases. So if I jump over to phase 2, I'm going to change the tack period to 7 days. I'm going to change the calendar to the 7-day calendar, hit save. And then you'll see now that they're both working on different calendars. So this is using the 7-day calendar. So what I've been doing so far is I've been applying calendars to phases, but they can also be applied to tasks. So if you jump into the task settings, go to the task properties on a task, you can see that you can change the calendar from here. So I could change it to a different calendar if I wanted to. I can also do the same thing from the schedule. But I can also make those same changes from the schedule. So if I select that same T4 task in the schedule, I could either use this button here, edit all default tasks, or I could press Control A to select all those tasks and enter the editing all default tasks mode, which is the same as editing it from the task settings. And then on the Plan tab, you can see I have the ability to change the calendar. But instead of changing the calendar, I'm going to create a new one. So I'm just going to hit Create. I'm going to call this Weekends Only. I'm going to make it so it's only on Saturday and Sundays. I could manually add the days off, or it could also copy from another calendar. So I'm going to copy from default. And you can see here's that May the 4th holiday. Save calendar. You can see it on the list, and then I'm going to apply Weekends Only. So you can see that T4 task has the Weekends Only calendar applied to it. But you can also just change a calendar on an individual task. So if I select just this one T4 task here, I can change the calendar back to default, and then it's back to default. And this also applies to one-off tasks. So I could add a one-off task with the Add Task button, or I could use the T key. I'm going to drag out a task here, call it T5, and by default you'll see that it is using the same calendar as the rest of the phase. So it's using the default calendar. So if you add a task to a phase, it'll adopt that calendar, but I could change it. So I'm going to change this one to the 7-day calendar, and then you see it's working over the weekends. If you want to manage all of your calendars, you can hit the project settings button up in the top right, and then there's a calendars tab along here, and then you'll see all of those calendars that we've been working with. So I could select this calendar here, hit the menu button. I could edit the calendar, which would just enter that same mode here. So I could edit it like that. could also make a copy of it, so just hit the duplicate button and we have a copy of that calendar. I can make this the default calendar. So what the default calendar is if every time you create a new phase, it will apply this calendar by default. And I could also apply a calendar to all phases. So if I have, if I know that my default calendar is set up perfectly and I wanted to apply to every single phase, I could just go apply to all phases. And we can demonstrate that here with the weekends only calendar maybe. Apply to all phases. It's going to kind of give you a warning saying, are you sure you want to apply this to every phase in the project? I do. And then when I jump back into the schedule, you see that it's been applied to all phases. So we're only working the weekends. It hasn't been applied to this one task here because it has a edited calendar. So if you have manually edited a calendar on an individual task, it'll not be overridden by these changes. When jumping into an existing project using the calendars feature, everything in your schedule is going to look exactly the same. So your work week and your days off or holidays are going to be identical. The only difference is in the task settings, instead of having the work week and holidays attached to the phase, it's now you have a calendar. So here I have 4 calendars, phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. And each of my phases has one of these calendars applied to it. So phase 1 has phase 1 calendar, and phase 2 has phase 2 calendar. And you can just simply, if all of your calendars are the same, you could go through and just kind of manually change them so they're all using the same calendar. Or you could also jump into the project settings here, go to the calendars tab, and you could manage your calendars from here. So if you are using the exact same calendar across all phases, so let's say it's a 5-day work week with the same holidays, I could jump into the default calendar here, I could edit it, I could adjust my work week, and I could just copy those holidays or those days off, hit save, and then I could apply it to all phases, and this would just mean that every single phase will be using this one calendar. If you wanted to, let's say you do have different calendars for the different phases. Let's say in here I'm going to make phase 2 default, phase 1 default, phase 3 default, but I'm going to leave phase 4 using the phase 4 calendar. So now everything is going to look the same. I'm just, instead of using 4 calendars, I'm using 2 calendars. And then I can just simply tidy that up from the calendars tab here. So I could delete those 3 I'm not using. I will delete those, and maybe I'll edit this one and rename it to 7 days. And now I'm just managing 2 calendars rather than 1 for each phase.